In this video, what I'm going to do is demonstrate how to create a compound interest investment simulator using a spreadsheet. And so what we've got here is, you can see I've got a table that's showing the growth of our investment over time. And so with an initial principal of $10,000 at a rate of 9.4%, our opening balance is going to be $10,000. But at the end of one time period, so if we're earning 9.4 per annum, then that would be 1 year. At the end of the first year, our investment is going to earn $940 of interest, and so that's going to make our closing balance for that year $10,940. And that's going to mean that at the start of the second year, we're going to have that $10,940, and you can see how over time, the second year we're going to earn more interest, and so therefore our closing balance at the end of the second year is going to grow. We're then going to insert a chart, and so you can see how the investment increases at an increasing rate because we start to earn interest. Because we're using compound interest, we're starting to earn interest on our previous interest. And so we're going to have a go at creating this in a Google Sheet. So to get started, what you'll need to do is open a new tab in your Chrome browser and then simply type sheet.new, and that's going to open up for you a new blank Google Sheet, which is just a spreadsheet. Once you've loaded that in, the first thing you should do whenever you start a new spreadsheet is give it a name. So at the moment we've got this called Untitled Spreadsheet, so just click on the name, and we're going to call that 2029 MATC Investment Calculator. And then we can give it a title. Now, we've given it a name. We're going to put a title here in cell A1. Now, spreadsheets are divided up into columns and rows, and you can see that the columns are labeled with letters and the rows are labeled with numbers. And so any cell, any one of these little squares in the spreadsheet, can be referred to by its column letter and its row number. So this cell here that I've currently got selected would be C3. So if you go to A1 and just click there, then what we can do is we can type a title for our investment calculator there. So let's just call it investment calculator, and just like a word processor, you do have the ability to make that bold or to change the font size. So I'm just going to make that bold. Let's try that again, make that bold. And then what we're going to do is put our starting values. Now you would have remembered from our lesson so far that the starting amount of any investment or the starting amount of any loan is called the principal. And in our interest formulas, we normally refer to that as P. So principal. Then in B2, we're going to put the actual value of that. So we're going to say, just as a starting value, that we're going to start with $10,000. Then in C2, what we're going to do is put our interest rate. So we're just going to call that rate, and you'd remember from our formula that the rate is normally given by R. Then over here in D2, what we're going to do is type in the value of our rate. Now you'd remember that there's 9.4% if that's going to be our interest rate. 9.4% has an equivalent decimal value of 0.094. So if you write 0.094 in here, you'll see that it pops up as the decimal value. Now spreadsheets can be used to format data. So we want this one here, D2, formatted as a percentage, and we want B2 formatted as currency. So if you click in B2 first of all, and then come up to the toolbar, you'll see that there's a dollar symbol here which allows you to format that as currency. So if you push that, you'll see that the 10,000 is now turned into $10,000. And if we go across to our rate, next to the dollar symbol, there's an option to format that as a percentage. And so if we push that format button, you'll see that it changes to 9.40%. Okay, now we've got to start to build our table. Remember, if you're falling behind, then pause me here and get that data entered. So you want your starting values, you want to have a title, you want to have the principal, and you want to have the rate, and you should be using a separate cell to write the principal label in and the principal value in. And same for the rate. Write the rate label in one cell and the rate value in another one. Now we're going to put the titles for our table. So the first thing we want to do is the number of time periods. So our first column is going to be called time periods. And you'd remember that from our formula, we refer to that as the value n from our compound interest formula. The second thing we're going to do is work out what the opening balance is for that time period. So let's just write the word opening balance in B4. Oh, that's not how you spell balance. And then we've got to work out how much interest is earned in that time period. So our third column is going to be interest. Just like that. And then our fourth column, we're going to calculate the closing balance. So that's going to be what we started with plus what we earned in that time period. So that's going to be our closing. Oh my goodness, I'm having a shocker with typing. Closing balance. Okay, and so there's the headings now for our table. Now you can also resize the columns a little bit. So if you're finding that some of them are too big or some of them are too small, you can see that you can go to the line that's between the columns here, and you can resize the column to match or to allow the time. Now our first time period is going to be called time period number 1. Now this is where spreadsheets become very powerful, because what we can do is we can use formulas so that instead of us having to do calculations, the spreadsheet can automatically do the calculations and will automatically update whenever a change is made. So we're going to use our first formula. So in cell B5, you write the equal symbol, and then we want the opening balance to be equal to the value, whatever value it is, that's put into B2. And so you can either write B2 at that point, or you can just click on B2, and you'll see that the formula there changes to equal B2, and it gives you a little tip saying that's going to be equal to 10,000 at the moment. And when you press enter, it copies the value from B2 and puts it into B5. Now we can work out our interest. And you would remember that our interest is calculated by working out the interest rate times the balance, or times the principal. So that's going to be equal to D2, which is that little value there, times, and you use Shift 8 to get a little asterisk, that's the shortcut for times in a spreadsheet. And then you click on the 10,000, and that's going to tell us, give a little tip, that calculates to $940. And if you think in your head, yep, 9.4% of 10,000 is $940. And we can then press enter, and it puts that in. Now I want you to go back to that cell. So in C5, we always want to refer to this interest rate cell. And so what we're going to do is make this value here, D2, an absolute reference. And you do that simply by putting dollar symbols in front of the D and dollar symbols in front of the 2. And what that means is that when we start using that formula in other places around our spreadsheet, we don't want to change where we're referring to the rate. We always want to refer to this cell here to find the current interest rate. And so even if we then copy and paste this formula somewhere else, it's always going to come back to this cell to find out what the interest rate is. And then press enter. So we've now got our time period number 1, our starting balance, and our interest. And that means we can now calculate our closing balance. And that's a fairly easy calculation because it's going to be our opening balance plus any interest that we've earned. And press enter. And you can see it's added 10,940 and given us a closing balance of $10,940. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to enter in our second row, and our second row is going to be completely formulas. And that means that we can then copy those formulas through the rest of our spreadsheet, and we don't have to retype them. So in cell A5, we're going to say that that's going to be, A6, that's going to be equal to whatever was in A5, so the cell above it, plus 1. And you can see that it calculates it to be 2. Our opening balance is always going to look at the row above it and find the closing balance of the previous year, because after time period 1, the 31st of December, if this is years, the 1st of January is the next day. And so our closing balance and our opening balance of the following year are going to be the same value. So we just say this is equal to the previous row's closing balance. Now, because we put a formula in here for our interest rate, you can see this little drag down button. See how it's changing to a black cross? That lets you drag that formula to other cells and it will copy the formula for that cell. So if we simply click and drag, you can see that it's automatically changed that formula so that it's referring to B6, this cell here, times our interest rate, and it's calculating our new interest based on our interest rate. Same with our closing balance. We can just drag this formula straight down just by clicking and dragging down, and we've then got our closing balance adding together B6 and C6, because this formula, it knows that you wanted to add those two cells to the left together, and so it's assumed you want to do the same in this row as well. Now that we've got a row of formulas, we can use that drag feature, that fill down feature, to fill the entire rest of the spreadsheet. So I'm just highlighting from A6 and dragging straight across to B6, and then I'm just going to drag that down, and I'm going to drag it down about 30 rows. Now we're currently in row 5, so we're going to drag that all the way down to about row 35, and that's going to give us 31 rows. Now we only want 30 years worth of investment, so I'm going to delete the 31st. If you haven't dragged it down far enough, simply select the last row that you did do, go to the corner and drag it down for a couple of extra rows to get yourself 30 time periods. And so you can see over time, our $10,000 principal at a rate of 9.4% has earned us $148,000 plus a little bit. And so that's showing you the power of compound interest. Now people like graphs, and so what we're going to actually do is put this into a chart to show how this changes over time. And so what I'd like you to do is select from A4 down to A34, so select that whole first row, or whole first column, right there, and then hold down the control key and select from D4 down to there, D34. So we've now got the first column and the fourth column selected, because those are the two things that we want to put on our chart. We want to have the time periods compared to the balance. Now, if you're finding that too difficult to do, if you can't select the two columns, column 1 and column 4, you could compare the time period with the opening balance of each period. And all that means is you won't get the final value in, you'll get the 135 as being your final value instead of the 148 as being your final value. And so you can select those two columns, then just come up to your toolbar here to the Insert Chart button and simply click that, and in about 10 seconds you'll get yourself a chart. And so you can see here that it's actually shown you the closing balance here on my chart going from 10,000 all the way up to 148,000, and the time periods going across from 1 all the way across to 30. Now you can pick that chart up just by using your mouse, drag it across. You'll see that Google Sheets has selected a line chart. It's assumed that that's the most likely chart that you're wanting to do. However, you can change that as well to different types of charts. In this case, the line chart is the most appropriate chart for us, but you can use the customize features to change the colors and some of the details about that as well. And there we go. So you've now made yourself an investment calculator, and what you can now do is try some what ifs. So if instead of starting with $10,000, we started with $15,000, then you can see that we would end up with about 225, let's see what the value is, $222,000 over the time period. If we had a bad couple of years and we weren't earning an interest rate of 9.4, that's what the share market has grown at over the last 30 years, 9.4%. But if we had a bad couple of years and we were only growing at 6% per interest, then you can see what's going to happen to your money as well. So with a principal of $15,000 earning only 6% per annum, you can see that we end up just over $80,000 there. And so we've got a final balance of $86,000 rather than the much larger balance when we had the larger compound interest rate. And so you can then try some different values in here to see what would happen to your investment over time.